So, economic order quantity. This is a topic that everybody has an opinion on. The production control people will go to great lengths to try to figure out the economic order quantity. Some companies will calculate it by hand. Others will have a automated software system. It'll have a module in it that'll determine the optimum lot size. As you can probably tell, I'm not very excited about the economic order quantity, the EOQ. People have pushed it on me for years as the best lot sizing that there is. And it's kind of well, I like to think that we're more modern manufacturing people. If we take this course and we're studying things like lean and quality management, we're not going to let numbers alone dictate what we're going to release to the manufacturing floor, and at least what quantity is going to be released. I'd rather have it being driven by a forecast that somebody's done off the market, market requirements, what we think the customers are going to do. But in reality, we have this desire to build in lot sizes of 1 so we can satisfy our customers and their demands whenever they have a need. You may ask, why do we do that? Well, if you've ever had to order an HVAC system, a power supply, a transformer, these are larger devices or larger components, and the problem is that you end up with a 16, 18, 26 week lead time. If you're in need of one for a replacement, having someone tell you that it's going to be half a year until you can get a direct replacement just may not be acceptable to you as a customer. So what we want to do is be able to build in lot sizes of 1 fairly quickly so we can meet those kinds of demands. But getting back to the EOQ. Well, the EOQ drives something, and because it has this strong feel that it's been optimized, and we've gone through and we've done a pass 1 and a pass 2 calculation, and the computer has spit it out. Or in the old days, we calculated it by hand, and someone did 2 or 3 pages of calculations and said, my calculations show that, 102.3 products per week are what we're supposed to release. Now, how do you build a 0.3 product? I just don't understand that. Why do people talk in such precise numbers? You get something like 101.3, then we should be building 100 or 105. But don't argue with me that we have to build 101.3. Problem is I have the gray hair here on my face from having dealt with production managers and people who are trying to tell me things. It's hard when you're a student or fairly young to have these strong discussions with others, but you don't have to win, but be focused on trying to reduce lot sizes. Don't believe that a number that comes out. Now, on the other hand, it is very important that you understand what EOQ is, because there's a good chance you are going to encounter someone who is going to tell you that that's the lot size you need to have on production, and you need to understand how that number came about. Now, it's not a terrible thing. There is intelligence behind the number. It drove manufacturing for a number of years. Also drove a lot of inefficiencies, which led people to crazily believe that shipping product overseas was the smart thing to do. And even though I helped with that effort, I didn't feel good about it at the time. But we do what our employers tell us to do. Who unfortunately did what the people who drive the stock market told them to do. And when you really sit down and think about it, people who are involved in the stock market are really only interested in making money for themselves, not necessarily for you, and not necessarily for the good of the country. So what we want to do is understand the EOQ, realize that it's at least a semi-intelligent way to decide what to release to the production floor. You won't have your business spiraling out of control, but you will probably have some extra costs tied up in inventory. So it's good for you to understand. You need to understand the concept because you're going to hear it throughout your career. As some of us leave the industry because we're aging out, you probably hear a little bit less and less, and hopefully lean manufacturing techniques prevail, that there's a focus on quality. From a quality perspective, the economic order quantity does help because the lot sizes going through are a little bit larger. It's a little bit easier to control what's going to happen. But from that overall perspective, just keep in mind that the EOQ is a good place to start. It's got a little bit of intelligence behind it. You have a lot of intelligence behind the way that you think as you're learning about quality and manufacturing in general. We want to drive lot sizes to be smaller and smaller. We want to have a flexible manufacturing environment. If EOQ calculations come out and allow us to be flexible, then I guess it's a better decision. But I think that you can always drive the best decision by trying to reduce the lot size to the smallest size that makes sense and is possible at the moment.